This is it. You guys have gone through so many lessons, have learned so much about being consistent, teaching your kids what you want them to do, following through with daily schedules and routines, and you guys have come up with plans that work for your family on how to respond to different situations. Whether you have more than one kid, only one kid, if you're in the house or out of the house. Now, there's one thing left, and this is the discipline on the discipline video. When children are not able to listen, follow through, understand their consequence, if they are hurting themselves, hurting someone else, or putting themselves in danger, you do not mess around. That is when you use the discipline. If your child is running out of the house and to the street, they don't stop when you yell at them. You immediately get them and put them in timeout. If your child is going to throw something sharp at another child, you immediately go to them and take it away. That is the only time you need to do this technique. They're hurting themselves, they're hurting others, or they're putting them or someone else in danger. Whether that be a pet, whether that be a person, a kid, an adult, whatever it is. The behavior needs to stop immediately. That's where we use timeout. That's where we use the pick up and move 'em technique, right? So what is this? Discipline is stopping the behavior now. Teaching comes later, right? Obviously they're doing something they're not supposed to be doing. We want to teach them how to fix it, not to do it again. But it's immediate. You need to intervene now. So what does this look like? If your child is running on the street, you say, stop, pick them up, and put them in a safe place where if they are tantruming and they are being basically out of control and they need to calm down, you put them in a place where they cannot hurt somebody, throw something, and where they will be safe. This is not the time for Sammy. Sammy is for just a typical tantrum because they're crying and they don't want to do what you tell them to do. You give them time to chill. Not now. Right now, this is serious. Your face is serious. You need to stay in the room or in an area where they are. You don't leave them alone. You just have a blank stare on your face, right? You turn your back to them. Don't give them any attention. They have done something to the point where it is dangerous. Okay, and they need to know this is not gonna fly. Okay, so once your child has calmed down, which could take in the beginning a half an hour, 45 minutes, doesn't matter. This could be quite frustrating for you as mom or dad, or if you need to get in the car. If you're going to the car, they're running in the street, put them in the car in their seatbelts and let them scream, right? It's wherever you're going. You need to be with them to keep them safe, make sure they're not hurting anybody or anything around them. Once they're calm, that's when you talk to them. If they try to get up and move out of the timeout before they're calm, hold their shoulder and guide them. If you hold them right here on both sides of their shoulder, they cannot hit you from behind. It's really hard. Okay? But you can control where they're moving because you're controlling their body. You will guide them back to their spot until they're calm, until they're safe. If they're not going to get up and throw something or hit somebody or do something that's really dangerous and they're calm, that's when you're ready to go talk to them. This sounds like a different kind of timeout. Sometimes people use timeout to teach instead of consequences, instead of Sammy. Sammy supplements the teaching, the communicating for kids that are just not listening, right? This is for a time where they're in danger. You ignore them. Anything they do or say or scream or throw doesn't bother you. This is when you, mom or dad, have your own calm down kit. And you put on some lotion and you breathe in that smelling vanilla that smells so great. You drink some coffee because you're going to need a lot of support calming down and ignoring this negative behavior. If they see you react like you are just to a point where you're going to blow, they're going to keep going because they're feeding off your energy. It's just the way toddlers and preschoolers and kids work, okay? So you're calm, your back is to them. Once they are calm, that's when you approach them. That's when you start to teach them. You come up with a consequence. There is a consequence. You went outside and almost ran into the street where there's cars. You know you're not supposed to do that. You did not stop when I called you. From now on, you are going to hold my hand every time we walk from the house to that car, and you cannot walk on your own. That's a logical consequence. Remember, everything we talked about from the beginning to now is about being logical. Kids think in black and white. There's no gray area. So if he ran into the car and you took away the iPad or decided not to go to the park because he ran into the street, those are not logical. They will not help you later. He won't remember. But if every time consistently now you are holding your child's hand, if he's 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way to the car and putting him in, he's going to remember that. Oh, I ran last time. Dang it. I can't be independent. Walk to the car. Okay? Or if they're being really aggressive with the dog, maybe they need to be separated with the dog. The dog needs to be on one side of the gate and the child needs to be on the other. Pulling tails, pulling ears, and being mean to your doggy friend is not nice. You cannot play with your dog. After a while, he learns, what do we do instead? Instead, we are going to use gentle hands. Only touch the back of himself, right? Over time, you allow your child to interact with the dog again, as long as they're nice. Over time, you allow your child to show you that they know how to walk from your door to the car. Over time, you have come up with a solution. Your child knows what to expect from you. What do you want them to do? It's very clear. Until they can do that for you, you have implemented a logical consequence that they are learning from every single time. But this will only work if you are consistent. You will hold their hand every single time you walk to the car, right? Every time you go on a walk, if they run far ahead of you and you tell them to stop and they don't, you turn around and go home and try again next time. Maybe next time they have to hold on to their stroller for the first 5 minutes. Maybe next time they have to be carried by you. Maybe next time they can only ride their bike and not walk because you don't know if they're going to run. Everything comes back to last time this happened, you did this. So from now on, you're going to do this instead until mommy knows you have learned to do this behavior. Mommy knows you will walk and you will stop at the end of the street. This is so important. You could get hurt. That's why we're doing this. So, consistency with implementation, not paying attention to your child, picking up, moving them, getting rid of whatever the object that's going to hurt the other child, moving your child from an unsafe spot to a safe spot, letting them calm down without you getting upset, you turning their back, you using your own calming stuff to keep yourself chill, redirecting them back to that same spot until they stay there and are calm. Once calm, talk about what happened. Talk about what's going to happen now. I will be holding your hand now every time you walk from the door to the car because you showed me you don't know how to do that yet. Okay? Once your child does it, and you want to give them another shot, give them another shot. But for at least 5 or 6 times after that, they're holding your hand because that reminds them what they did last time. What they did last time was not safe. What they did last time did not work. So every time now, I have to do this. I never want to run in the street again because I don't want to hold mom's hand every single time. Right? So that's what discipline is. That's how we use time outs as a teaching tool. We want this timeout spot to be safe. We want them to, once they're calm, we can teach them what to do. So, as I said before, Sammy is not for time out. But that doesn't mean that your child can't use the same calm down strategies over there. What can you put in your calm down corner? You could put photos of them playing, happy, calming down with Sammy. You can put pictures of them there breathing deeply. You can help support them. What I don't want you to do is put the Sammy house into this timeout center because if they are rallied up like that and they're being dangerous, then they could just throw everything across the room and it's not going to help. They need to get to a spot where they are ready to use Sammy, they are ready to talk to you, and they are ready to move on. So once they are not mad and angry and flailing and are being dangerous, that's when you can introduce Sammy. It looks like now you're not being dangerous anymore. Now let's calm down. Here's Sammy in his house if you need a little bit of help. This is what you did. This is what we're going to do now. Let's try it again. And then we're done. We're not going to talk about it anymore. Your child is calm. You've talked about it. It's done. You're not going to revisit it at dinner that night. You're not going to revisit it at bedtime that night. Your child has a new day, right? It's done. It's over. Okay? So that's how we use timeout. The next day, they will remember because you are holding their hand walking to the car. Remember yesterday? In this situation, we will be walking, holding hands from now on. If your child is throwing something really scary at another child, like a heavy block, or, I've seen it before. Kids have been angry and they push down their chair, or they really get angry and it can be destructive, hurting themselves, hurting other kids, or putting themselves in danger. Those situations, we will come up with a solution to prevent that from happening again. And your response to them with a very stern face, a very calm body, and a really consistent reaction and solution to this issue that you are going to put in place every single day for the next however many days you choose is going to teach your child that that is not okay. Okay, that is that. Download the PDF below. Write down some things that you can think of your child doing that is to the point where you might need to use this sort of time out. I also want you to write down some things you can keep in your own calm down box when you get overwhelmed. Because, guys, this parenting stuff is hard. This teaching preschool stuff is hard. This babysitting or nannying or whatever you do is hard. Kids are unpredictable. We're already tired. We're already done. We are, only human. So we need help too, and that's okay. So fill it out, pop in our group. I want to hear from you about timeouts. I want to help you figure out what to do in certain situations. Timeouts and discipline is a big topic. If you're consistent with your responses without yelling, without hitting, and you're just calm and you do not give your child a reaction, your child will all of a sudden become more calm themselves. They will know that they are not getting to you. The power that they have over you, they will not feel that. And instead, you can work on the situation, solve the problem, teach them what to do instead, and be on with your day. So, download this, hop in our Facebook group. There's a lot of different ways. I know I've heard many, many stories of families not knowing what to do. Hop in the Facebook group. Tell us what's happening. Tell us what's going on, and we can help. I'll see you in the next module where we are going to talk about a couple more things. Bye.